Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns news skates. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
Well,
we were going to do it at 11 o'clock, but we thought we'd speed it up, go to 10:15 or 10:20, but we're still starting at 11 after our technical difficulties.
we're actually starting at 10:50, so we're still ahead of schedule even after all the technical difficulties we had. So.
We had maintenance on board. So
we had maintenance. We had we had one of our chairs was needed the seatbelt changed.
That's right. You know what? I've noticed this, but I didn't want to say anything till we got in the air. You've got a great base right now. Like, was there a lot of sun out in East Providence or what?
No, I'm pretty sure it's high blood pressure.
After you're out there watching them fall trees in your yard.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably the sun coming in because this used to be a little bit more shady. Now I'm squinting the whole time because I'm looking into the sun because they took our tree away today. Yeah, they said, "Hey, come get it."
Yeah, you're like, you know what? This is a great base I got going. Come on.
Yeah, my wife is Carrie Ann is changing her name to Karen slowly as the years go along. She's slowly telling everybody to fuck off on the streets. So she wanted to have something changed. The sidewalk was it was basically a ramp for skateboards, right? So old people were tripping over it. Ladies with carriages were struggling to get over it. I was watching them work their butt cheeks out trying to get the carriages over, and then kids with skateboards were falling off. Bikes were going into the road. So Carrie Ann said we need to have this fixed, and she thought they'd just cut out the roots and lower it. Nope, they took the whole tree.
Constable cab out there.
Yeah,
she's. When you guys go back up home, the Mounties are going to be the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. To be, hey, can you help us with some crime? You're helping fight crime, but they'll have her looking at trees. Yeah. It's like, what do you think of this tree? Should we bring it down? Is it a hazard? So
she'll be working for forestry in the cities of Canada, just telling people, "Oh, you got some troubles there. Excuse me, sir, you got some troubles."
I mean, nobody likes to see a nice tree taken down, but down on Long Beach, I can only imagine. You guys are the talk of the neighborhood right now. Have you seen what the newbies are doing?
Well, that's so we changed the fence, took down a tree, and Carrie Ann turned into Clark W. Griswold. And last week had Christmas lights put up. The place is just beaming. Everybody else got no lights on the front of their house, and we got the power. You know, the power every time she turns it on. So joy to the world.
You guys are out there. So what was Clark Griswold's brother's name? What was he? Randy, was it Randy Quaid? Was that who it was?
It was Randy Quaid, not Dennis. Dennis and Randy Quaid was Randy.
Yeah, Randy. Yeah, he was brilliant. So
as Eddie.
Cabs out there, we don't need sewage anymore. We're just emptying it onto the street. we don't need your Long Beach plumbing. We're just gonna fall. That's awesome. That's awesome. So
there's been some changes. And she went to a party the other night, and they're like, "You guys are changing it up around here." I don't know if I've told you the story about. We went to one last month. They had a neighborhood get together and invite us over, so we went over. It said on the invite 4 to 6, right? Well, 10 to 6, one of the neighbors gets up. All right, it's almost 6. Time to go. We all cleared out like exact 6, like 10 minutes to 6. We're like, we're done. Good to see you all. Take care. Goodbye. So Carrie Ann goes to another one this weekend, and 10 to 7 starts putting on her coat, and everybody's like, "Where are you going?" She goes, "I thought we left it like exactly at 7." You know, no, this one goes later.
You're never fashionably late for any of those get-togethers because you're only going to be there about 15 minutes. Then
yeah, you're on time. You're late.
Are you sure you're not in a seniors community?
That's hilarious.
Hey,
we just got chirped. We got chirped.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with the seniors community. Just ask the elderly gentleman. I'll tell you all about it. So
Nothing wrong with our friends. Our friends moved their mom into a folks home, and I guess they had a 55 and older on one side, and they're moving her to something. And some guy comes up, "You the new kids here?" They're like,
yeah,
"No, we're moving our mother in."
we don't eat breakfast the night before, not yet, but it's coming. So
It's coming. Oh my God,
yeah,
7 a.m. otherwise known as 11.
exactly. Got to get the late local news at 7:30 p.m. before you wrap it up. So what?
Wrap it up.
So you got your fancy Nantucket T-shirt on there today. So
Fancy.
were you out there
Fancy.
watch? Did you watch the bees when you were back east in Boston? Marco, did you
No,
reach out? Was he
no.
around?
Well, here's the deal. When I was in Boston, I wore a Boston Bruins shirt on stage because Marco, his wife and Spotter's wife came to the show, and they brought me a big bag of swag. And yeah, it was pretty great. So I was like, oh, I got to wear one of these shirts on stage. Well, oh my God, the flack I got from every Vancouver fan. I said, the coach sent you something to wear. You wear it. And they're like, okay, I guess that's true.
Yeah,
So
that's another way of you saying to them, "I'm better than you." That
I'm better. I get free swag.
yeah, that's right. And if you want Lord Bagg to wear something, your favorite sports
Just give
team,
it to him.
all you got to do is give it to him because you know what? That's how it
Mhm.
works. I don't know if you people have
I don't care
noticed,
if
but
it's too small. I'll wear it as a half shirt. I don't care. Belly's out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Capris, not opposed to wearing those either, right?
Not against
As
any of
long as
those
it's
things.
got like Saskatoon blades or something on it, you
As
know.
long as it says free on the back tag.
Hey, talking about the Saskatoon blades, I know we normally talk about a lot of different things, but one of the things that I've really kind of caught wind of, and with all this nil money going into U.S. college
College.
hockey,
Yeah, yeah.
and all these guys being able to come from the Western Hockey League, Quebec League, and the Ontario League, is I thought it might destroy the Western Hockey League and those other leagues, but actually they're now on air. Like I talk to people here locally in Vegas, and you would be like, well, we don't care about people locally in Vegas, but when they're coming up to you talking about Western Hockey League teams and how they're looking for a way to get their son an opportunity to play with those teams, because now with these college teams grabbing these top players, I mean, these college teams are going to be basically, I'm not going to put them at the American League level, but if this keeps going and you get all these guys in this nil money going to these top college teams, it's not going to be any different than what you see with college football, where these guys are going to be more ready than ever to step in and play pro. And the Western Hockey League and the junior leagues, I was really concerned about. It's like, oh man, this is really going to hurt them. I think they're going to get a whole new group of kids flowing towards them because the avenue to college ultimately is not cut off like it was forever. So um, there's some unintended consequences with all this, but this could be a really positive development for these kids as they progress through their hockey as they try to get to the next level. And that's
Wow.
it. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I was one. I wanted to talk to you about that, about like more kids playing, because I was watching a little bit of some things going on in the northern British Columbia this weekend, and what's that league that's in Terrace? What league is that?
Oh, the one the River Kings are in.
Yeah,
They just think that senior men's. I don't know what exactly the
it's the Koi Cup.
league's
It's the
called.
Koi Cup. It's
Yeah,
the
the
Koi
Koi
Cup they're
Cups.
playing.
Yeah,
But
been around
but they're
forever.
actually starting to bring in players.
Mhm.
Hazelton has a kid that's, and I don't know his name, but he played 3 years in the WHL, and now he's up there playing for. They're flying him in for the weekend to play a couple games.
Well,
It's really quite. I'm just like, wow. So more guys are playing later in Canada, which is
yeah. I mean, if some of it, I'm sure has to do with the job opportunity. Well, in this case, they're flying them in, but some of these cities on these senior teams, they're offering guys jobs. So I don't know so much if you're seeing that as an avenue to to go on and
well,
for this kid to continue his career. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he can try and walk on somewhere, with an ECHL team or something like that, and see, if that's what he's trying to do. If he's trying to hang around, and it's interesting, but and part of this is too, like you're like, well, what does the senior men's hockey have to do with the WHL or college sports, or as these kids move forward? What it has to do with is the kids in those communities being able to go out and watch those guys play, and it's a big deal in those communities. I mean, Terrace has won the Koi Cup 2 years in a row, and so that's a big deal. That on a Friday or Saturday night, and being able to play the local teams. Kitimat, Hazelton's just east of Terrace. So that's a big deal for those communities, but it's also a big deal for the kids that are in minor hockey or the kids that might want to pick up a hockey stick and go, hey, I want to give this a try. To go out there and watch these guys play. And obviously, you know what? It's at a high level. And a lot of these guys, like if you got guys coming from the WHL, a lot of the guys in Terrace were out of town. They played junior, whether it was in the BCJHL, Alberta League, Saskatchewan Junior League.
Hmm.
There's good hockey players in all those places. So I think part of it is saying, hey, we still love to play the game. And we're still doing it, even though we know we got to go to work tomorrow. But the young guys that are going to those games looking at these guys, I mean, that's a big deal. And
Also, you
creates
just got
excitement.
to.
Yeah.
I think the NHL should be looking at it because I think if those leagues can bring people out and they can give an affordable night of fun entertainment, you're going to also grow your higher up leagues.
Well, I think what the NHL is looking at right now is a way to, and we talked about this with Aaron, and look at what's going on in Anaheim. They're not there yet, but they have their high school league. So
Hmm.
they've got all these high school leagues now, and these teams in the States. So the way I think the NHL is looking at it is how do we bridge the gap between when they leave high school and they get to pro, or they get to college? Like, is there a junior league in there somewhere that we can develop these kids and have eyes on them? Because it's a big ask, right? If you grew up in Los Angeles, or you grew up in, I don't know, Dallas, or you grew up in northern British Columbia, like, well, we didn't have a choice. We had to go where the hockey was. It's a big ask to ask some of these kids to move, far,
Hmm.
far
Hmm.
away when there is an opportunity uh, for with the amount of kids that are involved for a league to kind of grow where they are. And I don't know if we have enough junior leagues or enough opportunity for these kids as they come out of high school or travel hockey to the next level. I don't know if we're there yet, but I think the NHL is looking and going, okay, how do we bridge the gap? How do we bridge them a little closer to us so we can have maybe not so much a hand in their development, but we can help precipitate it.
I think yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, we could have just talked in
Also,
circles on that,
I will
but
talk to you about what I think is you're right, and it's a tough ask to have a child. And I don't care, like 15 years old, you're still a child to move away from their family.
yeah, I mean, it's
So
something that a lot of these parents wrestle with. I talk to them, and
you
I'm
did
not
it.
going to. I don't know anything about prep hockey. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, go do this or go do that. And I think parents, one of the biggest things that they're looking for is information. Like, how do we get informed to make these decisions? And as these cities grow and as these leagues grow and or start to come on board, then the decision maybe is a little easier because you don't have to leave town or you don't have to go as far away from home as you might think. And um, it's coming. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get here because the NHL is on a, pro hockey or hockey in general is on a pretty nice upswing right now. So the next
Hmm.
question is how do we keep kids in it? How do we keep them enjoying the game, progressing, and at some point maybe everybody moves away from home, but if we can keep these kids, closer to home a little longer, and the level of play is high quality, that should be the end goal. Um, I mean, but right now that it is what it is. I like the fact that the junior teams are now, kind of finding their way on all this too. Not every best junior kid's going to go to the U.S. college system, but at the same time, that's an avenue now, which creates an opportunity for another kid to play in the Western Hockey League, the Ontario League, that never thought they might go there before.
You know what? The fact is there is going to be more and more opportunity. You know what the next step is, right? Affordability for every kid to be able to play hockey. That's the next step.
You know,
you'll never be able to compete with basketball or soccer because all you need is a ball to learn how to play that game.
Well, here's how. Okay, I'll give you an example of affordability. So there's teams, travel teams that, so if you grew up in Northern British Columbia, right, we had to travel to go play wherever we went. Vancouver
even a
or
Thornhill.
Yeah, but let's just use Vancouver in Canada, or you could use Toronto. You could use a big U.S. center like maybe around New York, Chicago. Let's use Chicago or Minneapolis, where there's competition within driving distance. There's not a lot of competition. Like as you have minor hockey still, it's been in Vegas for a long time, but it's exploded. So it's still trying to find its footing and its foundation. You talk about affordability. You have teams that are traveling 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year. Okay. So that's expensive. So part of the affordability is being able to keep the kids closer to home and being able to grow the competition and the progression in their game from home. And let's not forget, you talk about affordability. Well, one of the other things is schoolwork and these kids being on the road a lot. So there's a tremendous strain on the family financially, which you're right on to. So let's try and find a way. It's not going to happen in a smaller community like where we grew up, but there's probably mitigation, that little things you can do to try and maybe bring everybody in. Okay, Terrace gets a weekend, Prince George gets a weekend, Smithers gets a weekend, for just to use that. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do 3-4 times a year. Everybody gets it planned out. Where is, like I know some of the teams here in Vegas, they haven't played at home all year because all of the tournaments and all the league games they go play in against the Sharks, against the Ducks, against the Junior Kings. These are all junior, the junior Knights. They, these teams, you're flying to San Jose, you're driving to Phoenix, you're going to fly or drive to LA. But at the same time, there's a toll that gets taken on the kids. So the rest and recovery, the schoolwork suffers, and the mom and dad's pocketbook suffers. So if there's a way that we can kind of bring this together and get a lot of these, then I think that's kind of the answer. Is like, okay, I have a path forward where I don't have to leave home as early. What's the next path? And being able to get the competition in your local community up high enough so maybe you can take one trip a year off and keep the kids local. I don't know, but you're right on affordability. There's no easy answer there, especially with a lot of these teams right now, because they have to travel, and these parents are seeking information like, what's the right avenue for my kid?
If you can't build hockey in like we always talk about the like the higher end, like the high skill, right? You also have to build it in just a fun way. The kids that aren't going to go on to play junior, aren't going to go to play college, aren't going to go into the NHL. If you don't build that part, you lose everything, because you have to have the fan, right? You have to have the fan that doesn't go to every game, that doesn't get season tickets, but that buys and fills your stands. And you have to be careful that you don't abandon them. And I think it's tricky. I still think it's trickier than any other league, just because of the equipment that's used in hockey.
Well, I was on the ice with two teams yesterday.
Humble brag.
I know. Yeah, I thought about that as it was coming out. I was like, well, that's how it's going to sound. But I was on, and I love being on with the kids because, they teach you a lot as well. But I was looking at one of the kids had a new pair of skates with a really fancy blue stripe on it, and all I could think about, it's like, I mean, these kids are growing like weeds, right? They could grow through
Yeah.
up. Some of them could go through 3 pairs of skates in a season. Maybe they do already, but 2 for sure because they're growing. And I was like, and you talked about affordability. I'm like, to put those on your feet, you're going to be minimum. I'm going to say minimum probably $500. I don't even know. It could be more, but and that's where hockey is kind of in its own orbit compared to the other sports. It costs a lot of money to get your kid ready to go, and then after that. You're right though, getting back to house league, like the foundation, like not every family and every kid is going to pick up a hockey stick and go to a travel
Well,
team.
just
So
I'm
you
not
have
even
to
saying
build that
I'm
up.
not even saying that. I'm just saying street hockey. You got to have sticks.
Yep.
You got to have
Yeah.
you got to have $20 sticks for a kid to play street hockey. Nobody needs a $200 stick to play street hockey,
Well,
right?
you know what though?
I do because let me
Yeah.
tell you about when I used Drew's reality stick. It was fantastic. I could have played in the NHL with that stick. Anyways, back to you. But I'm saying but at the same time, it can't be like a piece of flimsy foam. It's got to still be something that's kind of makes the kid excited to play with. You know what I mean?
Do you remember those hockey sticks that we used to have? I think one of them was Clarence Michael, or yeah, it was
Yeah,
Clarence Michael. We'd play at noon, and you would run over and just pray you could grab one of the sticks that wasn't just flexed straight out, but
right.
somehow
Yeah,
you made it work, right? And so yeah, you're right. But it's still going to cost you to get, I mean, you got, maybe you don't need gloves, but it's expensive. And so how do you cut some of the cost out? And I don't know how you do,
I think they still
but
use the orange ball that we used to use. The orange ball. Every kid coming in from recess with a fat lip because they got
yeah,
smoked in the face with a ball.
let's use the hardest piece of plastic we can. There.
Will it get harder as it gets colder? Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, yeah. It'll if it leaves a mark, that's what we want.
Yeah,
It's funny.
yeah,
We played with tennis balls a lot, but everyone was always like, "Oh, the tennis ball bounces too much." But if you think about it now, for puck
yeah.
control, like if you can control a tennis ball on the street or on a flat surface, other than ice, that's pretty impressive, right? And
Very impressive. And then
I
sometimes
mean,
the kid would bald. And one kid would have a bald tennis ball, and we'd try to use that, and you're like, whoa. And he was
or
he was always using it, so he knew how to use it. And you're just like, oh, screw you, Kip Lindsay.
hey, and you can just rip those. Hey, like you talk about a missile coming
Oh
towards you.
man,
So
just
yeah,
hockey's all about just having a mark left on your body after you played. That's all.
yeah.
Letting your parents, you did something by showing them a bruise.
Couldn't get out of the way fast enough, Dad.
It's all right. Faster,
Yep, yep. So,
faster.
anything else exciting? I don't think we've solved any of the cost issues, but
No, but
we're
I think it's good. I think it's good to talk about. Like don't ignore those kind of things. People shouldn't be like hockey. People shouldn't be ignoring those type of things. What do we do? You make don't think that you need to make all the money right now. Make money over a longer period of time. Make money more.
right.
Have more fans. You got it. You got it. I don't know. We'll talk less about this. Everybody's like, shut up about finances. All the rich people that are listening, whatever. Um, um, let's talk about Calgary, Chicago last night.
Jeez, okay, yeah, go for it. Actually, we got two
Well,
guys to talk about on two teams that we didn't cover a whole bunch last year, but we can definitely cover them today.
Calgary still looking for their footing.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me a good opinion on Calgary. Calgary doesn't have a first line. They're running three twos and 1 3.
Would that person live in Edmonton?
No, they live in a different town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't about the Canucks, so Trent wouldn't have
I was gonna say
anything.
I was Calgary. Trent doesn't talk about Calgary.
The thing about Calgary is, man, they're in between right now, which is really unfortunate because last year they came out of nowhere and they were right there. And then I think there was a lot of energy and a lot of positivity that came from that. And now
Mm-hmm.
they start off this year, and everybody else in the Western, well, Nashville's not kind of scuffling, but everybody else
Nashville's
is
just fine. Nashville's going to be okay. Everybody just keep
Nashville.
calm. Keep calm. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, Nashville's
Oh
having a
my
bit of a
God.
tough go. But the thing about Calgary or everybody above those two. I think there might be one other team some in them not far from them, but in the Western Conference, everybody else right now is still like, yeah, we can make it. We can make it. We can make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that those teams can't, because Craig Berube and the St. Louis Blues have proved everybody wrong about the U.S. Thanksgiving. But let's just see December 1st. I mean, you can love it or hate the date. It kind of, you're kind of in or around it, that especially if you're in at that point, the percentages you being in at the end are good. And you're not in it, the percentages aren't as good. Now there's always outliers like the Blues, and I think the Panthers were another one. But it can be done. But man, I was looking at the Western Conference last night. Like you talk about Chicago. I was in Chicago last week. Their old friend of old, and John Shannon hates when you say friend of the show. We'll do our 100% hockey minute in a minute, but
We'll change it for John Shannon. Friend of the hoe.
so our old friend, my old classmate Rick Ball, who's been
Oh, nice.
unbelievable. Talk about great guy and a really success story. Went
Were you
from
there on an overnight?
working at I can't remember. I want to say CKNW, but it's not CKNW because that's Vancouver, the local radio station in Kelowna. And he worked his way all the way up from that to the worked through junior Calgary Flames. Now he's play-by-play with Panger on for the Hawks, the Blackhawks. So we went to a game the other night that he wasn't
Hold on.
working.
Were you there overnight? Were you on an overnight or what?
Yeah, I was there on an overnight. So I went with Rick to watch the Devils and the Hawks. And there's
How
a
come he
couple
wasn't
of
working?
TNT was doing the game.
Uh,
Uh-huh. So we went and watched.
it's you have to, if you're not paying attention. I'm like curious because all of a sudden some of these guys that aren't working. I'm like, what's going on? And then Panger works every time, no matter what.
Panger worked
Panger,
7 days a week.
it's just unbelievable. It's like who's got all the money in hockey? Panger. Panger's got all the money in hockey.
You know, my favorite thing too is Mallard says to me, I text Mallard and go, because the great connection with those two, with Mallard and Rick, is Rick got Mallard one of his first jobs covering curling, the BC rink. Rick Folk from Kelowna, British Columbia, back like in the Briar back in the day.
Oh
So
no!
he's like, "Oh, say hi to my old pal." He gave me my first job, and I always look, I'm like, Rick's not older than you, Mallard, but Rick is older than Mallard. And so he goes, say hi to Rick and Panger. And I said, are you watching the Tampa Bay game right now? He goes, oh, yeah, I'm watching it. I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to say hi to Panger in Tampa Bay. Like, I'm in Chicago.
That's funny.
Like, pay attention, right?
Are you not
So,
noticing Panger in
yeah,
Tampa Bay?
like he's hard to miss, right?
But
And
but he's probably thinking the same thing as where Panger's doing both games. Doesn't matter. Panger's
yeah,
like splitting between Tampa and Chicago. That's how good he is.
so it was funny. But Panger wasn't there. But there's a couple things that I haven't been in Chicago for a game in a long time. There's a few things about Chicago.
Great building.
Oh my God. The city's great downtown, a lot of great
Chicago's
people.
great.
But I think it's Jim Corneliuson. I think it's I know it's his first name's Jim. I might Cornelius or Corneliuson, I think, is their anthem singer. That's
Uh-huh.
must see just to go to a Chicago Blackhawks game and be there for the anthem. And people that are around the game know everyone stands up and cheers. This is on a Wednesday night, I think it was. New Jersey, not a rival. Like they come through once a year, even though they got some great young players. And the place was going crazy. It's must see. It's if you ever can go to a Blackhawks game just for the anthem. And then the game started, and Chicago's look a different team. They're hanging in there. Bedard, I'm telling you
Chicago's
what.
a different team.
Yeah, Chicago's a lot different this year, and boy, can he shoot the puck. Their
And so
defense
is
is
San
massive.
Jose.
Oh, San Jose and Celebrini. I mean, that's
I'm
yeah,
I'm blanking. Is this Celebrini's second year
yeah.
or third year? Is it
Second.
Bedard's third year?
Third for Bedard, yeah.
Third for Bedard, second for Celebrini.
And what I think Celebrini might have just turned 20, and Bedard, I think, is still
I
20.
think he's still 19. I think he's still 19.
Yeah, it
I
might
think
be
Sabrini's,
19 or 20, but these two guys. So
and then you got the
rising.
kid. You got the kid on the island that's doing
Oh
the
my
same thing.
God. Yeah, I mean, you know, so yeah, we can talk about those three guys. So Schaefer came through Vegas last week, and I'm like, you got to watch the Islanders. They are a different team. And this guy, I mean, he didn't play a lot last year, right? In junior. Now he's lighting it up in the NHL. His skating and his willingness to make plays is crazy. So those three guys,
Who does he remind you of?
oh, that's a good question. You know,
From what little I've seen of him,
uh,
I will say,
hey, tell me.
Hughes. It reminds me of Hughes.
He reminds you of Hughes, eh? Yeah, he's got a little bit of Hughes in him.
I was
I
wondering
don't
if they
know.
trained with the same
He's kind of
people.
a hybrid. Like he's really something. I'll have to watch him a little bit more. Maybe give you a comparable. Um, you know, there's a kid, Rinsing in Chicago that Rick really paid a high compliment to, and you hate to compare him to, so I'll say that Rick said there's traits. Uh,
Trade.
Traits of the Big Bird, Larry Robinson, but this kid's a right-handed shot, and the Big Bird was a left-handed shot. And the Big Bird was one of the greatest of all time. So he just
You
said in
got
some of the
you
way he
got me. I'm like,
moves,
I thought Larry Bird. You had my head on something like Larry Bird. I'm like,
he's got a
you
great
lost your
three-point
mind.
shot.
Who,
Yeah,
who cares? Who cares about my blood pressure? You've lost your mind.
yeah. So the Larry Robinson. So
No way. That's
there's a little
awesome.
comparable there as a young guy, like traits. I'm not throwing it, but Schaefer special, and then all of a sudden, like you think like those three kids are Canadian kids. Schaefer, right, and the other two, Bedard
Yeah.
and Celebrini. All of a sudden, you look and you go, "Wow!" If you're Doug Armstrong, the GM of Canada for the Olympics, you're like, "Well, you didn't see this coming, not this fast." And
Yeah.
you know, they're pretty established, but I think if you can find a way to build, you know, as it looks like they're going to be
I
in the Olympics to
I
go
think
forward.
that I think the biggest concern would be with Schaefer getting tired starting probably December, January. He's going to be playing a lot. He's playing a lot of games,
It's a
right?
big
So
ask, right? It's a big
yeah.
ask. And like Celebrini, a friend of mine was telling, well, Randy's Pro Shop. Randy was telling me this the other day. Um, from Randy's Pro Shop, he said Crosby's already given Celebrini kind of his blessing because he was over there in the Worlds with them last year, and he's like, this kid can really play. So I would expect. I don't know both
Oh,
Bedard.
really?
Yeah, I don't know if both Bedard and Celebrini. They might both get there, but I think uh, because like that's another step, right? And they went with some guys that it really worked out well last year in the Four Nations. So it's tough if most of those guys are having a good year to go, you know
Hmm.
what, we're going another direction. But I do like the idea of infusing youth into your program because you know they don't say it's young person's game for nothing. So
Yeah.
I think probably USA is looking at the same thing. How can we infuse some young guys into our lineup, and maybe give them a taste of what this is all about? Is you know, I mean, because you're building the program for you represents your country. You want the community involvement. You want the young people helping lift your program up. And you know, if you're some
Brings me up.
yeah, if you're some kid in the Western Hockey League or even some young person in your late teens, early 20s, and Malcolm Celebrini's out there at 19 years old skating for your country, like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Anything's possible, right? And
Yeah.
now all of a
I
sudden
I should
you're
get some work done. That's what you
I
do,
should probably I got to get to the gym. So,
yeah.
anyways, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Speaking of Crosby, so I'm going to Boston to Pittsburgh tomorrow, and they said to me, "Hey, we're trying to set it up so you can go to a game, blah blah blah." But the games are on while I'm actually performing.
Mhm.
So, and I said, "Oh," I said, "Oh, well, we're there. Well, we're trying to get you so that you can go to a practice and hang out." And I'm like, "Whatever." Like, what? I'm like, I don't really have time to go to a practice, right? I got to do radio in the morning. I'm going to be tired, right? I'm like, I don't really want to go to a practice. They
Hey,
go,
I'm a
But
big
I go,
deal, like, yeah, I got my, did they not read
because
your rider?
no, it wasn't. I didn't have time. I just I'm like, I've got a lot of things going on. I go, but I said, and you can invite people out to the game if you want. And you just and they're like, oh, well, they're having a retirement party for one of the staff members, and they want to know if they could bring 20 people. And I'm like, okay. And they go, and we'd like to repay you with a jersey, and if you get 86, we can have it signed for you. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can take that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. So I'll see if it works out. But apparently, I'm getting a Crosby signed jersey.
Okay, well, when this comes out 2 weeks from now, I guess we'll be able to say yay or nay. You'll be able to put a thumbs up there.
I'll be either wearing it,
Yeah. I was
carps
like,
off or carp on.
I kind of thought it was kind of funny when they're trying to set you up for a practice and do so, and you of all people had no time. I'm like, that's all you do is have time for that stuff.
I do have time for that stuff, but it's at 11 o'clock, and I finish radio at 11 o'clock, so it's not going to happen. Okay, so why don't you just back off? I'm trying to sell tickets, Jeff. I'm going there to sell some tickets.
I know. That's what the bottom line is.
I got a fence to pay for.
Hey, Sid, listen, we love you, but we got to sell some tickets.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not ending my checks at 86. So that's why don't you just calm down, bro?
You know what you should do is do a Zoom. What do they call that? What PNG place or something? I don't even know what they call it.
PNG. That's a PNG.
Is it PNG? Like, hey, just do a Zoom, and have you up on the big screen in the comedy while you're watching the game.
That's funny. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh, that's really funny.
All right.
All right, but honestly, Chicago looked good. Calgary looked horrible. Vegas last night I watched. I thought New York is still struggling.
But New York was really good on the road. New York had their moments. I got to give Vegas credit. They've started to round it into form. Maybe not getting all the results they want, but they're starting to look more like the team that they were projected to be, and that's pretty good. With like Stone's out, who knows when he's coming back? Carlson's out, and their starting goalie Aiden Hill is so. I'll give them credit, but they've had some guys step up, and I mean
that goalie that played Shed. Is it what Schmid? He was fantastic. Hutton was great, but I have to be honest about Hutton. I don't know what dentist fucked him over with those teeth, but those chompers, my God, you're just looking at them; they're fake, and they just like, I'll get what are the biggest ones you got? I'll take those ones.
He's a good guy. My favorite story about Hutton is my mom's still mad Vancouver let him go.
That's hysterical. Mom's
I told him that too.
He's
fantastic. He came up one night. Yeah, I told him that too. He came up. He's a good guy. Everyone really likes him. And Mallard,
as you should. He's got a big smile on it all the
time. Happy.
He looks friendly as shit as he's about to punch you. You have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, when you see a guy smiling, you got to get going. Darcy Rhoda, remember him? Nicest guy in the world off the ice. He started smiling on the ice. Darcy Rhoda, he had a head for the L's because he was going to snap. Yeah. And you know what? And he one of the nicest people I met away from the game. And on the ice, he'd start smiling. I'm like, you might want to turn away from that guy because he's about to go crazy.
That guy's about to lose his shit, my friends. Yeah. Anyways, I think it's been great hockey, and you know what? I am having a hard time finding the games because they're so scattered all over the place. TNT, and I can't get the Los Angeles games unless I go over here. I can't get the Ducks game unless I go over there. So like I wish it was all. I wish when I buy the SBN package, I could just add on to those packages. You want these games? Yes, I could add on to that package.
How about when you go somewhere and it's blacked out? Like
that's what I'm saying about.
I was in San Diego or something, and I was trying to watch. I don't know, it was Vegas, and it was blacked out in San Diego or at Seattle the other night. I guess maybe that's because the Kraken were playing. I don't know.
No, that would.
It was somewhere, but it was like I don't really get the whole thing. If you're paying your money, like let the people play. Pay in to play. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
are you guys coming down here in December?
We might come down. It's a game time decision. Down. Yeah, we might. Well, Cap just told me. Well, you were busy getting us audio technical difficulties there. She was telling me how busy she is, so that I was kind of reading into that, going, well, maybe
No,
we
she's
don't
busy,
want
but
you.
she's busy. But come on down.
Yeah.
She's got a statement piece that you guys got to see. It's a statement piece. My goodness, you got. I'm just like, huh? This is where I live now, huh? What a statement piece.
All right. Well, after you cut down all the trees in the neighborhood, you better have something
Oh my god.
fly your colors. Like, hey,
Now that the one crazy neighbor can see in our house.
yeah, now you need to build a bigger fence.
Yeah.
So just touching on like the Rangers and the rest of it. I don't think anybody's like at last I checked, maybe Buffalo is not on the bottom anymore, but everyone in the East is in good shape, like still viable. Out West, we
Hmm.
got a couple laggards, but I was just looking this morning actually. Colorado, as we taped this, has lost one game. Dallas is all they've done
Colorado's
recently is
good.
win, and they're still behind them. And now all of a sudden, Winnipeg's getting going. So if you look at the Central, you're like, okay, so the usual suspects are now starting to round into form.
I did notice that yesterday watching Winnipeg with Columbus that they looked different
Mhm.
all of a sudden. They looked a little more together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Hmm.
they're starting to kind of get find their game as they say, and then out west or in the Pacific, you've got believe it's Anaheim and LA and Vegas. Okay, so
All good.
push you'd push
All good.
LA in there and you would push Vegas in there, you would probably wouldn't have Anaheim there quite as high, but they'd be in there somewhere. And Anaheim, man, that's been a lot of fun to watch, and it's
It's a feel good
amazing
story.
what like Q and his staff have done. But they're a lot of fun. So the what I got thinking of is I'm like,
You know
okay,
what?
what?
Question for you.
Yeah,
You, you think if they hadn't done anything with Zegras, we're still getting the same outcome? I think he might have been able to do something with Zegras as well.
yeah, 100%. I think Q can. I mean, this guy. He's a special coach. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's re-energized in Anaheim with a young. I mean, they got a little bit of everything down there, right? They got some
They do have a
solid
lot of
solid vets,
spices.
and they and they, and they have those young guys, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, and their goaltending's been good. But if I look at it, I'm like, Vegas was in Utah tomorrow night. And one of the things that's happened, at least with Vegas, and it's happened with a lot of the other Western Conference teams, like Vancouver's in Florida right now, or they might be on their way back out west. I think they play Dallas actually tomorrow night. But now you're starting to play teams in the Western Conference because there's been a lot of teams play Eastern Conference teams early in the season. Now you're
Hmm.
starting to see people that are actually going to affect your lot in life a lot more because so Vegas plays Utah
That's
twice,
interesting. Yeah,
and
that's
and they play
interesting.
Anaheim. So, but if I look, yeah,
Now it means something if you lose those points. Now the person that's gaining those points is actually gaining on you even more rather than losing to the East, right?
yeah,
So
and the other night,
yeah.
I mean, you could find yourself out of not even in the wild card one night, and you could be third or second place in your division a couple games later. And so I just the kind of thing I was looking at because I really like Utah's team. Watched them a couple times here in the last couple of nights as well, and I'm like, well, if Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado are going to do what they do, the way for them to get in is they're going to have to fight these other teams for the wild card. And oh, by the way, we haven't even said anything about the Edmonton Oilers, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on with Edmonton?" Well, Edmonton's only a couple points out. Right? It's not like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's not like they're
It's just very noticeable when they lose like they lost the other day and
yeah,
when the Buffalo's play by players making fun of their goalie. Did you hear that one?
yeah. I think is
They pulled their goalie. Oh, they had one?
yeah. Hey, it's a tough business, man. It's tough,
It's
I
tough,
mean,
yeah.
but so like
I'm with you.
who's
I'm with you though. I think Skinner's got to go someplace else.
a lot of guys when they get to their second team really find their game. And you can go around the league and you can say, well, there's some guys that never found their game. But I do believe that sometimes a change is as good as the rest, and that might be necessary or in the cards, or might not be. But in Edmonton, I mean, if you look at it, like you look at a guy like Pickard, that's an amazing story, and they love him, and the guy just battles, and so that I'm sure they love to keep him around because he brings so much to the team. But Edmonton does need to find a way to get some more saves, however that turns out.
Here's my what do you think of this? Do you think Hill goes to Edmonton? I think a three-way trade. Hill goes to Edmonton via New York.
Okay, and is that it? We're just one guy through
I
three
no
teams.
no
So
I don't know. I think Zinabad goes to Vegas. I think, and then who goes from Edmonton? So Skinner goes to Skinner. No, Skinner's got to go. So it wouldn't be that, because
okay, well,
you're not grabbing. Is New York grabbing another goalie? I don't think so. See, that's my problem. That's where. So Skinner's goes out, Hill goes in, right? But it's got to be a three-way. It's got to be a three-way, the three team thing.
okay, fair enough. Just remember that they're probably
No,
going to set a record for the most goalies possibly ever used in the NHL this season. Okay, so I think they were on the high 80s or low 90s, around 80, 90 last year. Total goalies used. You could probably go over that this year. So you just want to make sure you have depth. Does Stuart Skinner just need a little bit of load taken off him and let him find himself? Because this guy's been in like, you can take him down all you want, but he's been able to find a way. And maybe it's just because the Oilers in front of him have been so good. But it's hard to find a goaltender with the amount of playoff experience, and he's been in the finals twice. It's as young as he is. I think it's really hard. Um, it's really hard to move on from that because it could just be a little bit of load management. It could be maybe they're looking. Maybe they need somebody else. Maybe it's just not going to work. But I think if you're Edmonton looking at that, they're like, hey.
I think it's too small of a town to for him to be pushed around like that.
Oh, I think he's from there, right? So I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
it's too small.
unless
It's too. If he's from there, people know how to get a hold of him. That's even worse, right?
maybe he's
It's
gonna
not. It's
move.
not like he moved into town in secret house. He's like, oh, I grew up there.
He's gonna move up to Fort Mac
Yeah,
and get away
yeah,
from everybody.
yeah.
But you know, yeah,
Fly
okay, we're
away
gonna
from
commute
Fort
in
Mac.
from Fort Mac every day, Fort McMurray. But I think I don't know. I think that's a real delicate situation. And the other thing is what are you getting in return? Um, and when I talk about the amount of goalies being used, you
Zinabad.
want to move a guy on is what I'm getting at. And you might have people going, yes, we want to move on. But do you want to move a guy on that has got that amount of experience? And maybe you just like when there's players that come out of your lineup.
They kill goalies in Edmonton.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, I know the goaltending position is different, but when players come out of your lineup, that gives opportunity for someone else. But sometimes people move up and get more minutes and they aren't able to sustain it, right? Maybe they just need to reset their goaltending where Stuart Skinner isn't the focal point for a while. And, Pickard's awesome, but if Pickard's not the guy to kind of do that, maybe if they can find like Connor Ingram's in the minors for him right now. Maybe Connor Ingram can come up and help reset, rebalance their goaltending situation for him,
I
and
didn't
they
even
can
know
get
that.
this guy
I
right.
forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but
Yeah.
Edmonton needs a few more saves. I think we could
You
all
know
agree on
too
it.
much. Just agree with me.
You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Not
know. I was just being the devil's advocate.
well. That's good. And Mallard's not on. He hasn't been on recently. No one to disagree with. So
Mallard just is just angry with the. And by the way, I haven't listened to 100% hockey lately. I've been 100% off hockey. What's going on that podcast?
Doug
Who've they had?
McLean, I think, was the latest one. We'll do our 100% hockey minute. Oh, we're gonna get some
Just said the
dogs
door
barking
open.
here. Hey,
That'd be awesome.
we
That'd
got
be awesome
high
if Doug
end.
McLean walked in your door.
Yeah, Doug McLean. Hang on a second. We've got the
Okay.
attack dog getting ready to go. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna let them bark. The big thing is with Doug McLean's on 100% Hockey, and that guy is probably one of the funniest guys I've ever heard on the radio or on TV. So our 100% Hockey Minute this week is listen to the latest episode that dropped, because I haven't listened to it yet, but I'll be listening to it today. So
100%. We're 0%, 100% hockey.
Any shout outs?
That's a good pause. Yeah, let's do shout outs. Yes. I actually broke on Sunday night. I was in Richmond, Virginia, with Bert Kreischer at a big theater there, and
Nice.
For Chris and his buddies, which is my wife's brother, and Daniel, Carolyn's brother, are big fans of Bert, and every weekend I'd come back from someplace and they'd all be questioning me whether I worked with Bert or not. Did you work with Bert this week? No, I didn't work. Oh, what's Bert like? And I'm like, holy shit, if I work with Bert here, will you guys meet him and leave me alone and out of the conversation? So I got them all, 12 of them came down to see Bert, and I did a show with them, and they all hung out afterwards and had a good time with them. So I was able to answer some questions. So shout out to Bert for just being, he's so gracious. I say, hey, can I come out and just do a quick set with you and have he paid me, he gave me money. I just wanted to get tickets for my family and have them meet him. But he paid me, and just so nice. I like when people are successful and they're still like that, So it's cool. So shout out to Bert Kreischer, top off.
For closing your show.
Yeah, for closing my show. For closing my show. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. And good people. Well, it's tough to beat that because you went.
What Chris said. Chris said. We saw Ian and then we stared at a belly button for an hour.
I can't really go that high on the fanboy meter, but I'll give a little shout out to my buddy.
You douche.
Hey, I got. I just like that Bert was nice enough to come out and close your show for you. I'm gonna bring a local.
That's high blood pressure there.
Yeah, that's a great base you got. I'm gonna shout out my boy, buddy of mine from back in the playing days and coaching locally here, Gordy Mark from Irma, Alberta. Every time I see Gordy, he gets bigger and bigger, and I mean, like, he's a big dude, and he could crush you. But such a good guy, gentle giant. And I laughed the other day at the practice. He calls the kids in. He goes, he coaches a girls team. He goes, girls, I don't like they were just screwing everything up. He goes, girls, I don't like to blow the whistle.
That's funny.
I never thought about it, and I was on the ice with them. Like, I only heard the whistle blow like 3 times, and they all know where to go. They're like, they look at them like, okay, next drill, and draw it up, and then away they go. And I'm like, have you ever been to a hockey practice? That's one of the things that like that's when practice is really going. You hear whistles all the time.
Whistles.
Not with him. Not with him, boy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like to blow the whistle. So
that's really funny.
He doesn't. So shout out to Gordy Mark. He just good guy, and he's gone through.
Whistleblower.
Yeah, he's gone through the ringer, coaching minor hockey, but does such a good job. And yeah, he looks like he's back. He's back for national aspirations again this year. So we'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Good for him.
Yep.
Good for you, Gordy.
Right. Love all.